Welcome back to the Jacob McLaughlin podcast and radio show, coming to you guys on a Thursday, March 5th. Absolutely beautiful day here in Scottsdale, Arizona. It is about 85 degrees and sunny. It looks like it is going to be getting warmer sooner than later, but again, I can't complain. I like the warm weather. But yeah, it's nice and toasty out so far, and especially for the beginning of March. So it looks like Phoenix and the Arizona area could be getting a little warmer sooner than later this year. But getting into what we got for the podcast, what we got for the YouTube video, it's how to write a workout. Now, the reason I wanted to make this podcast was because I get asked a lot, if someone's out on their own, hey, how do I put together a workout? How do I write a workout? How do I make something that's super effective? And I just wanted to give this to you guys to educate yourselves. Now, I want this to be said. This isn't gold standard. What I say isn't, the top of the top. So again, don't take me and then say, hey, I don't agree with that, because everybody's got their each and every way. This is just me from training from the last 10 years, doing a little bit of everything. What I've seen works the best for myself, and what I would recommend and prescribe to other humans. So again, that is the main reason I wanted to put this together, because again, I've done the bodybuilding, I've done more of like the CrossFit, I've done, Metcon where it's only like 30 minutes, I've done full body where it's 3 days a week, I've done at home, no body or no weights, just your body weight workouts. I've done just like fat loss work. I've done it all, focusing on different goals, gaining muscle, losing fat, doing it fun. Stuff with it. So I just want to go on and just educate you guys on how to put together a workout. Now, when I'm going to start out with this one, there's a million different ways, like I said, to write a workout. Majority of this is going to be what you would do at a gym, but I also want this to be said, there's a million things you can do while you're at home if you only had bands, or if you only had like little weights, or you had no weights, you just had your body weight. So want to go in just to give you guys some examples and just go with it. So whenever it comes to an exercise, for the most part, it's going to be either two things. It's either going to be a push or it's going to be a pull. And so what that means is you're either pushing the weight up or you're pulling the weight up. So that's how you can split it up. So just for examples of exercises, so you guys can kind of think about it, it would be like a squat would be the push. A barbell row would be a pull. A bench press you would be pushing. A lateral raise, you guys would be pulling. A shoulder press, you guys are pushing. Lunges, you guys are pushing up. So we think of the push is when you guys are pushing the weight up, and then when you guys are doing a pull, it's when you're pulling the weight up. It's as simple as that sounds. That's how you kind of separate a push and a pull. So that gets me into our very first way to split it up. You guys can split it up into a push day and then a pull day. Now, I will get into push-pull legs, which is different, because that will be pushes. The one we're talking about here is going to be push full body, pull full body. So if we're going into an example of this, like I said, if we're going to go full body with it, on my push motions, I'd be doing like a squat, a bench press, a shoulder press, and so on like that. On a pull, I would be doing like an RDL, a Romanian deadlift. If you guys don't know what that is, it's pretty much like a stiff leg deadlift. It's a hinging motion. You guys have the pull-ups, you have barbell rows, and so forth. So that's how you guys would split up like a full body if you wanted to do one day's a push day, one day's a pull day. And the reason I put this out, this is a great thing to do if you guys are limited on the gym, or you guys also want to get the most out of it. And so what I mean by that is, you guys could do a push and a pull version 2 days, 4 days, or 6 days, and kind of break it up on how you would want. So what I mean by that is, if you did Monday, you did a push day with your squats, and you guys did your bench press, and you did your shoulder press, and did some accessories with that. Then on your pull day, which would be on a Tuesday, then you guys would be hitting the opposite muscles. So while your other front muscles, like your chest and your shoulders are recovering, you're working on your back on that pull day, and then it would be vice versa, right? So now you could do it Monday, Tuesday, take a Wednesday off, and do a Thursday, Friday if you wanted to be in the gym 4 days a week, and then you're getting a big bang for your buck because you're working the full body in those 2 days. So that's a huge benefit of it. Some people don't like using full body. Again, this is all preference. But if I was talking to someone who's like, hey, I can't get into the gym very often, I would probably split it up into a push and a pull. You can do full body every single day, but this is just a version of a full body workout, right? Because you're still going to be doing squats, which would be your legs, your push, which is your chest, your shoulders, right? And then you just break it up into, okay, the next day would be a pull, and it would be more like a hamstring or a posterior chain day. So that would be your difference of a push and a pull workout if you wanted to go that way. Then what I was talking about earlier, you have the push-pull legs. Now this is very common when it comes to like bodybuilding. And the reason it is because it's similar to what I just said. A push-pull legs, you're going to be a pushing motion upper body, you're going to be a pulling motion upper body, and then it would be a full day just set on legs. Again, this is common because it's for the person who either wants to lift 3 days a week or they want to lift 6 days a week. Most commonly for this way, it's for 6 days a week. And what it would be set up for is like you would actually do like a heavier day the first 3 days, and then the first cycle, and then the second cycle you do more volume with it. So for example, if it was like the first time you go through it, you're doing 3 sets of 5 on your push on bench press and all that good stuff. And then the second day on that push, or the second day of the week, maybe it's that Thursday now, then you guys would be doing maybe like it's 4 sets of 10 on the bench press. So now you get a little volume work in there. So again, like I said, very common, because why it's common is your muscles that you just hit are recovering while you're actually hitting other muscles. So what I mean is if you do a push day, it was all chest and shoulders, basically chest, shoulders, and triceps is how it would be broken down. You hit that on a Monday. Well, now on a Tuesday, if you hit back, that's going to be your pull day. So you're going to do a lot of like back and bicep stuff. So now your chest and your tris and your shoulders are all resting because you're not really using them. Now your back is going to be getting used on that Tuesday. So your Monday is recovering. And now you go hit legs, right? And now that's not requiring you to do any chest, any back. So then you hit your legs, smash them. And then now it's Thursday. And now you can go back to hitting your push day because you've had 2 days in between and you're on that third day to start. So that's why it's super common, is just because it allows you to be in the gym a lot if you would like, or it just allows you to hit it 3 times a week, but you can focus on, a certain part of your muscles. Like that's where it gets what you want. Everybody's different. Some people don't want to think and they want to just hit full body, but there's going to be some people who want to be like, hey, I want to grow my chest. I just want to focus a day on my chest. Well, you could do a push day and have a little bit of shoulders in there because it's going to get used anyway and some tris. And then you could have a whole day where you're just focusing on your back. Some people like this. If it was me, I would probably be more in this section just because I like to focus on, hey, if I'm going to hit a push day, I really want to exhaust that push day compared to, if you're doing a full body day, you're going in and out, and you only get maybe 1 or 2. So this just allows you to get more volume and a little more spanned in the 6 days throughout the week if you would like it. Now going on to the next section, we got full body. So again, this is great for the person who, a couple of different reasons. If you can't get into the gym that much, full body is probably the way to go because it's going to allow you to you could do it maybe just 1 day a week if you're super busy and you just make it a huge heavy day for that 1 day. Or you can go, 3 days a week. You can do it all the way up to 5 days, alternating what you would like to do. But I really enjoy it because you're going to get a big bang for your buck. You're hitting every single body part with it. Now, that's why we like it, is because it's a big time saver. Again, I understand not everybody's like me and wants to live in the gym. I like to work out almost every day, and there's a lot of people who don't, or they don't even have time. You guys have families, you guys have jobs, you have things that you have to do, and you can't be spending an hour and a half in the gym 3 to 5 days a week. It's just not realistic for you guys. So this is where, if you still want to lift, this is a great opportunity for you guys to go. You can get all your lifting in, but now it's maybe in 1, 2, 3 days, and you're able not to lose any progress and actually see progress. Now, this is where I'm going to just get a little sciencey for you guys, just so you can understand why you set it up the way you would do. So when we get into it, it's going to be like, the rule of thumb is when I make my workouts, if I'm going to do a full body, I'm going to break it down into these sections. So the sections would be a vertical push. So all that means is it's going up. I'm pushing the motion up. So that would be your shoulder press, right? So you would have a vertical press in that motion. So it'd be in that box, you would have shoulder press. Then I would have a vertical pull. So that would be your pull up. So there's 2 exercises, right? Your shoulder press, now your pull up. Then I'm going to have a horizontal push. So that would be your bench press. Horizontal, you'd be laying down, now you're pushing up, would be your bench press. Then you have a horizontal pull. That's where you would get bent over rows. So you bend over, now you're pulling horizontally. And then you guys would have that core work. So then we call it, like I would say, anti-rotational, right? You guys can do a million different core exercises, but this is where I would just throw in some abs. That way you guys are hitting everything, but that's really when we break it down. You're looking for a push, a pull, vertically, and then a push and a pull horizontally, and then you guys want core work. Now, if you also want to add in the legs, which I would do with the full body, it would also be like a hinge, so that's where your RDLs would come in, stiff leg deadlifts, and then you would have your squats, so barbell squat, front squat, goblet squat, whatever you would like to do. So if that's going to be your whole day, it would be looking at maybe 7 exercises, and you just pull an exercise from each one. Again, there's a million different exercises you guys can pull from a vertical push or a vertical pull, and you guys just choose what you guys would like. So again, if you can't do pull-ups, a vertical pull, lat pull down. You guys just go to the machine, you guys do a pull down, there's a vertical pull. So it doesn't have to be pull-ups. Again, there's a million different exercises you guys can choose, but that would be the section on how I would break it down if you guys are going to go full body. And again, the reason we do this is it allows you to be in control 1 to 5 days a week. You guys decide. If I was going to do it, the only reason I would do probably full body if I was going to be lifting, I'd probably do it 3 times a week because I want to be able to get in the gym. It's going to give you your biggest bang. You'd go Monday, take Tuesday off, let your body recover a little bit. Wednesday, go hit it again, let your body recover. Friday or Saturday, whatever it is, and do the same thing. If I was going to hit it 5 days a week, that's where I'd kind of cycle. You're going to have to cycle the exercises. I want to do bench press every single day. You can do a version of it, but I want to do the exact same thing every single day. You would have to switch up your reps and your weight. So again, you might have one day that's higher weight, lower reps, and then vice versa, lower weight, higher reps, and just play with it that way. So that's what I would do. Then this is the one that is very common in the bodybuilding world, bodybuilding splits, right? The name of it. So what bodybuilding splits stands for is that's where you're going to take a whole day, so like a Monday, and you're going to focus just on one body part. So if you guys are in the bodybuilding world, you know, like chest would be international, or Monday would be international chest day, if I can speak. So that's where most guys like to do their chest day on Mondays. That's why they call it that. But that's where you take Monday and you just hit chest. And for example, so you're like, how would I hit chest for an hour? Well, then you just split it up. I would like to go like hit it in all 3 angles of the chest, so that incline, so you'd have like an incline bench. Then you do a regular bench. Then you could do a decline bench, or you guys can use the machine. Then you guys can do a fly. Then you guys could do cable cross. Like there's like a million different things that you guys could do to work your chest. You just play with it. But again, that's where bodybuilders most common like to do it because they like to be in the weight room. Now I used to do this for several years. I liked it, saw great results with it. But now personally, I don't go that way because I look at my returns. Now I'm just the person who, if I'm going to be in the gym, I want to be getting the biggest return. Now, if you do it, they've done studies, and then this is the only reason I do it. And again, I'm not saying one way is right, one way is wrong. I'm just going off the pure science. They've seen people who've hit a body part more than once a week will see more results. So what they mean by that is if you hit chest twice a week compared to once a week, and even though you might have done 50 sets in that one day, so say on Monday you just did a chest day and you did 50 sets, and that was your bodybuilding style, and then you hit it, and then you rested, and you didn't hit it till the next month or next week, they saw that if you did the same, if you did 25 sets on a Monday and 25 sets on like a Thursday for a chest day, and they split it up into a couple of days, that they actually saw more gains in the same amount of time. So it was just, really it comes down to you're hitting the body more, you're hitting that body part more, begins more protein synthesis, which means you're building more muscle. So again, that was just the literature, what I read. So that's why I've done it, and I actually enjoy it more, especially just being honest. There's a lot of days I work 14 to 16 hour days. I don't have a whole lot of time to just be like, okay, I just want to do chest. I'm going to like try to get the biggest bang for my buck. So that's it. Then when it comes into, that's really the big lifting. And then the other last one I want to throw in there is the cycle that I actually do right now for my workouts is it's an upper body and a lower body day. So that's how I do it. I split it up into an upper day and a lower day, and then I do like a conditioning day on the third day. So what it looks like for me is like on a Monday, I hit legs. So I do the lower body first. So I do legs on Monday, then I'll hit upper body on Tuesday. And when I say upper body, I mean everything on upper body. I'm doing chest, shoulders, back, everything you have, so a little bit, but I don't do arms specifically on that day because when your biceps are getting hit when you're doing pull-ups, your triceps are getting hit when you're doing bench press and shoulder press. So, but I do, the chest, shoulders, and back on those days. And then on that third day, I'll do like a little bit of arms, maybe bicep, triceps, and then conditioning. So that's kind of my recovery day because arms aren't very taxing. And then I can do, some conditioning with. Maybe I'm doing some sprints, or maybe I'm doing rope intervals, or I'm on the ski or the rower or the bike, and I just do some conditioning with that, or maybe it's just sprints. So I play with that, especially just how my body feels from the couple days before. If I'm feeling beat up, I'm going to take it a little lighter. If I feel great, maybe hit it a little harder and go off that. And then also depending on what my goals are, am I trying to gain right now, or am I trying to lose? So just kind of playing it with that. Now, that's pretty much when it comes to when you're at the gym. I wanted to go that because I know a lot of you guys like to go to the gym, but now I want to touch on, hey, I'm at home, I'm not going to the gym. How do I set up my workouts too? When I do my workouts at home, I try to do a similar, trying to do more pull stuff than I can push, because we are very push dominant. But it's hard if you guys don't have bands, if you guys don't have any dumbbells, if you're just doing body weight stuff, it does make it tough to use your body to do more pulling motions. But I try to do a similar thing of like, hey, a push, a pull, a hinge, a squat, and then I do an anti-rotational core work. I might have like 5 exercises. And then I would do, okay, now I'm going to do 40 seconds of work, 20 seconds of rest. I'm going to roll through everything, 5 times, and then call it a day under 30 minutes. Or it could be as simple as, like, this sounds absolutely horrible, but there's been days I'm like, hey, I don't have a lot of time. I got 15 minutes. I'm going to lunge for 15 minutes straight. So I just put my headphones in, I go outside, and I just lunge nonstop for 15 minutes. That's an absolutely horrible way. If you guys have never done it, I would start with 5 minutes because it gets absolutely disgusting pretty fast. But simple way to do that as well. When I'm doing at home workouts, to be honest, you guys, I'm going to be focusing more on fat loss. I'm not looking at gaining muscle, because it gets tough when you're just using your body weight. I'm not saying it's impossible, because of course you can, but it gets a lot tougher to, for myself, okay, do I want to do 50 to 100 push-ups, or would I rather just wait till I'm at the gym and I can grab hundreds and just control it? Now I only do like 10 reps instead of doing a bunch of bodyweight push-ups, where I'm probably not getting the same effect as much. So you can play with it, but with that said, you can, if you're not very strong in that point yet, work it on to doing 10 push-ups every day, then 12, and then 14 and 15. We always talk about at the gym, me and Jeremy, like if you did 100 push-ups every single day, the way your chest would look after a year would be different, because you just got to think, if you did 100 a day, there's 365, you did that many more push-ups every single day, and over in a year time, your chest is different. So you can do it a bunch of different ways, but again, when I do it, I'm going to do more body fat. So I do more conditioning stuff. I'll do like mountain climbers, jump squats, jumping lunges, or plyo lunges as they're called. I'll be doing like Russian twist, push-ups. I'll be doing, like maybe it's like a cat-cow or like a Spider-Man for like mobility to help myself get into it. So it's very different on how you guys want to write it up. Like I said, there's different ways to do it. There's a million different ways, and now if you guys have bands, that's even more different. Like I use bands most of the time because I like to have a little resistance, but if I can get a band, then it's like I can do a front squat, and then I can do a shoulder press, and then I can do a bent over row, and then I can do a banded push-up, and now I can do, maybe it's a plank. And there's my exercises, and I do 40 seconds of work, 20 seconds of rest, where I'm doing my reps, and I do it for 20 minutes, and I call it a day. So that's another way to set it up and do it how you would like. If you guys have dumbbells, I know I'm not into the whole yoga Pilates thing, but I know if you guys have dumbbells and light bands, you guys can do that as well, which I think is great as well. I just don't do it personally. So there's a million different ways, like I said, to write it out. I hope this helped. I just wanted you guys to have an idea. If you guys have never done anything before, or you've never written your own workout, I would start just trying it. The only way you get good at something is by doing it. The only reason I can even say this is because I've done a million stuff. I used to be told what to do. I'd look at other people's programs and I'd do them, and I'd do them for verbatim. And then I was like, okay, now let me try doing some of my own. And then I'd track it for 8-12 weeks and be like, hey, I saw this progress in it, so maybe I know what I'm doing a little bit. And then you guys just pick and pull, and it's just time and playing with it. And to be real, the last 2 years, my training style has changed so much because I don't have as much time to work out when I'm training, and also I don't want to work out for an hour and a half every single day. I just don't have the time. I don't feel alive to. 4 a.m. kicks my butt some days, and I'm just like, okay, I can't go as hard as I want to with it. Now, then I want to touch on this last part because I forgot about it, but I want to just put this in there. Last one, Metcon. Metcon is probably my go-to. It's what I do for almost all my leg days today. Metcon, all it stands for is metabolic conditioning. That's where it's best known in CrossFit because they're going to do it. It's where you get your lifting in with your conditioning in. So I like it as much because it's a big bang for your buck. But again, I'm not going to be doing like Olympic lifts. That's just not my thing. I think the risk reward for the average person isn't worth it. Now, again, if you're an athlete and you're trying to gain more power and be more explosive, yeah, it's great. But if it's John who's 39 sitting at a desk all day, I don't think a power clean or a push jerk's the best option for him. So that's where I'm going to pick a safer exercise, but we can roll through it. So for example, I'll give you guys what I do for like a leg day. So for a leg day, I might do, we have the sled at Jeremy, so I'll go loaded sled, I'll push it down, I'll pull it back, and then I'll go 15 lateral lunges each leg. I might go 25 kettlebell swings, and then I might like ride the bike with no hands, so it's just my quads. And now I do that. I set the clock for 30 minutes and I just roll through AMRAP style as many rounds as possible and just see how many rounds I can get. And the thing is that's beautiful about it is it's like there's so much volume there. So again, even though the weight's going to be a little lighter than me, you know, putting 315 on a squat rack and squatting that, even though I'm not going to get the weight I'm going to, well, on the other way, I'm going to get with so much more volume. A lot of times my legs are just shot because, again, if you do anything for 30 minutes, you're nonstop. Your breathing's coming into play. Your legs are just getting nonstop volume. For today, you know, I actually switched it up. I went out to the alley because it was nice and it was outside. It's nice and warm. And I did walking lunges. We have an alley that's about 150 yards. And I would lunge it halfway. I would do kettlebell swings and glute bridges in the middle. And then I'd grab a weight and I'd lunge it back in. And then I'd run down and back. And then I just repeated that for 45 minutes. You know, so I got a total of 5 cycles in. And my legs are just shot. Never picked up a weight, you know, like my lunges, I used 20s. I used body weight on my glute bridges and then an 80-pound kettlebell for my swings. So not heavy, but the volume is going to be crazy. And my muscles, I can already feel them, they're just ripped up. And now I'm going to have to recover for the next couple of days. So Metcon, I think, is a great way to do it. If it was me, for anybody, and telling them what they should do if they're trying to get work done in a small amount of time, I would always shoot for a Metcon, because if you guys are going to go to like the bodybuilding way, it's going to be, you guys are doing, you know, like maybe it's like 8 to 10 reps, and you guys are going to do it and wait for 45 to 90 seconds, and then you're going to do it again 4 times and then switch exercises. Compared to if you guys just did this metabolic conditioning kind of stuff, you're going to get your conditioning, you're going to be breathing harder, you're going to get your muscle breakdown, and you're also going to be building muscle because you can get stronger in those weights, and you can play with, hey, am I going a heavier day or am I going a lighter day with it? And you guys can just play with it. So I think that's the best for the average person who doesn't have a lot of time. That's what we do at our gym for every day is metabolic conditioning, because again, we work with a lot of professionals that only have 30 minutes or under, maybe 3 times a week, to get the biggest bang for their buck, because they work so much, they have kids, they have families, they have an other life outside the gym where they can't just spend an hour every single day focusing on it. So I hope this helped you guys. If there is any questions, please feel free to DM me, message me, or like this video and then comment on it and let me know. Always happy to help, always happy to answer any questions that you guys have. And also, if you guys just are looking for a little more help, we also do that. I do some online coaching with, if it's ever looking to get better in shape, or you just want to learn, pick my brain, we can also talk about that. So I really appreciate you guys tuning in, and until next time, do something active and spend time with people you love and live your life to the fullest. I'll talk to you guys next time. Peace.